So, Dateline Cincinnati on this one, divisional round of the NFL playoffs. The Bengals and the Bills squaring up for a slobber knocker, a date in the AFC title game on the line. It's kind of a big deal. You don't want to miss the boat. Now, in the preamble to this matchup, it is not the same old, same old. No. Because we have a Bengal player, running back Joe Mixon, who is hopping mad at the NFL. Now, if you didn't see this, maybe you didn't hear about it, perhaps not. The NFL made plans. You probably know about this. They made plans for a neutral site title game. If the Chiefs beat Jacksonville, they're favored by a lot. And if the Bills, who are favored by a decent amount, advance, that's the game. Well, tickets are already available. They went on sale earlier this week, so you can buy tickets. That game will be played in the ATL, so that game in Atlanta. Cincinnati running back Joe Mixon punching back at the NFL. He told reporters that it did not sit right with him, and just to prove that I'm not lying here, as Warner Wolf likes to say, let's go to the audio tape.
To be honest, it's disrespectful, but we're not worried about that. We got a game to play on Sunday, right? So you can't count us out. We got a game to play on Sunday. Like I said, that other stuff, that don't mean we're going to go out there on Sunday and, we're going to do what the hell we got to do to come back with that dub. And then we're going to see what they're talking about.
Yeah, get that dub. That's what I say. When I come in the studio, I'm like, hey, we're going to get that dub tonight. That's what we're going to get. We're going to get that dub. All right. So the money part of that quote, to be honest, it's disrespectful. But we're not worried about that S word, the word that Black Steve II said from North Carolina the other day on the show. All right, so Nixon's upset. He's complaining about that. Let us discuss the question. Why do you think that Joe Mixon is making a big deal over the NFL ticket marketing strategy for the AFC title game? So we're going to play it through here. I've got Nintendo, fine print, and oil reserve. And we will connect all of these things together, and we are going to make some Skyline chili, which Justin in Cincinnati has told me is disgusting. So I don't know. I've never had it. I've seen bottles of it, or not bottles, like cans of it, because a friend. Well, we have one of our hosts on the weekends sends occasionally bottles or cans of the chili. The great Andy Furman. All right, now, first of all, Joe Mixon is like a random social media user. He's running around looking for something to complain about. Outstanding. It's like a talk radio host. Now, this is a grand example. So we hope that Joe Mixon does not strain a muscle here as he overreacts. And this whole mindset with the Bengals, it reminds me of the original Nintendo video game system back in the day. There was a game called Duck Hunt. And I just imagine Joe Mixon with one of those light shooter video game guns, and he's on the prowl to push back and shoot down disrespect. Like the Bengals have been that team. You're that team, pal. You're on that team. They are the walking, talking embodiment of nobody believes in us. The world is out to get us. It's not fair. They were in the Super Bowl last year. They were in the game with the Rams. It was a close game. It wasn't a blowout. It was a close game. And here they are chasing down any minor slight and blowing it up into a mushroom cloud. That's what the Bengals do with these stories. It's us against the world. It's that dogma. I'll guarantee you, if I did a MALLER monologue slicing up the Bengals and saying they suck, that would reach the Bengal locker room and they would go crazy. Unfortunately, I don't feel that way. I wish I did, because they get all worked up into a lather. But we'll use a term that one of our callers, Paul, Redbreast Paul from Rhode Island, used last hour. He kept saying chip on the shoulder, right? Oh, they got a chip on their shoulder. He was talking about Josh Allen, Mo. But the Bengals walk around like they have the proverbial chip on their shoulder. The human condition, my entire life in athletics, is The teams that win and say, we proved the doubters wrong, they get worked into a tizzy. It's really funny when teams that are supposed to win, that are considered top-notch teams, and they're the ones doing it. For example, I'm old enough to remember when the Patriots used to be really good, and they win. Believe it or not, the Patriots used to win Super Bowls, like a lot. And they were favored almost every year near the end of that run, and they would win the Super Bowl, and Tom Brady and the guys on the team would be like, oh, yeah, we really proved everyone wrong. They didn't think we were going to be here. It's like, well, who are they? All right, now, secondly, is the NFL being disrespectful to the Bengals? Now, the answer to that question is it depends on how far down the Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole you would like to go down. You want to go to fantasy land? We'll go to the fantasy world, right? We'll crank that up a couple of notches. So if you're going to go down that road, here's the problem with that logic. It's a flawed logic. So by Joe Mixon logic, Cincinnati has been slighted because the NFL is selling championship game tickets to watch Buffalo and Kansas City and Atlanta. So going down that rabbit hole, the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs should also be up in arms. There should be anarchy, pandemonium. Why? Not only, you see, is the NFL selling tickets to a hypothetical Kansas City-Buffalo game, neutral site, Georgia, they are also selling tickets. You can buy tickets for a Jacksonville-Cincinnati AFC Championship game. You can buy them in Jacksonville. Or actually, it's in Cincinnati, but you can buy those tickets. So you talk about a slap in the mouth to Bills Mafia and to Chiefs Nation. What are you doing? The NFL is trying to get people to buy tickets to a Jacksonville-Cincinnati AFC Championship game. The lesson from this little story, rather obvious, it's not personal, it's just logistics. Right? But whatever floats your boat, right? Whatever floats your boat and whatever you can take umbrage at and complain about, and there you go. And you can pass the hat around the locker room, and everyone can chip in. I can't believe this person said something about me, and they said it on a live stream and on TikTok, and I'm all upset. All right, final thought. So how come the neutral site AFC title game, should it happen, should concern every football fan in general? So the answer to that is there's a term called grooming. It's like a prototype restaurant. Maybe that's a better analogy. Like it's a soft launch. And the NFL, they're going to see how this thing does. It's a trial balloon. But as I look into my crystal ball, as a distant relative of Nostradamus and friend of Nostradamus, he lives in Seattle, this is a trial balloon. And the NFL, they're dipping their toe in to see the temperature of the water. It is an opportunity to win a bonanza. No questions asked. All right? Little extra sugar. Everyone likes a little extra sugar. The NFL owners, better than anyone in the industrial complex of sport in America, know that they are sitting on all kinds of extra money and extra revenue. And this one, they're sitting on an untapped oil reserve. Untapped oil reserve. It's true. Make the AFC, NFC title game a destination situation for your vacation. And think about it. Like, you could have local hack politicians who bid on the Super Bowl, and then they don't get the Super Bowl, and as a consolation prize, ta-da! Yeah, you know what you get? You get to host the AFC Championship game or the NFC Championship game, but make sure you have the taxpayers give us a big chunk of their hard-earned money from their blood, sweat, and tears at their jobs so we can take that money as a host. You'll be a host city. And it's the usual cities. It's Miami, L.A., Atlanta, New Orleans, Houston, Dallas, Phoenix. These are the places all these events are played out at. And the cities that don't get to host events, you could have cold weather towns that don't normally get these events that happen to have a dome stadium like Detroit or Indy, Minnesota, somewhere along those lines. They can get these games. Tampa, of course, which is outdoors, they should be on that list as well. So those are all highfalutin possibilities. And so if you're kind of like me, and even though I don't live in a cold weather place, but I've enjoyed watching from the comfort of my sofa a NFC Championship game at Lambeau Field when it's 20 degrees and there's snow flurries, or a lake effect blizzard at a Bills AFC title game, or the Ice Bowl in Cincinnati, or any of these other things that have taken place over the years. That will be over. That's the end of it. And in the NFL, if they get their way, and even if this game's not played eventually, given enough time, the NFL will get to the point where they're going to do this anyway, but it'll happen much sooner. This is like a dress rehearsal, this AFC Championship game, if the Bills end up playing Kansas City in Georgia. So remember that.